Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, November 13th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off a couple quick clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will still be moving around. That's because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol PLUG. And a relatively popular stock, especially several years ago. This was like a cult stock and still is somewhat popular. But I say all that because this stock got absolutely destroyed today. And when you have very popular stocks, or even just relatively popular stocks that get absolutely beat down like this, you can get some very interesting movements. And what catches my eye for this one is, yes, everything I said already about being beat down and popular, but check out the latter part of the day. Nice little upwards move. Now, to be fair, this is maybe just some sort of little gasp and this thing completely collapses back to the downside, completely possible. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, maybe this is some sort of leading indicator of an even bigger move to come. And that's what a watch list is all about, finding unique, finding interesting situations, not rushing out and randomly buying stuff, but watching it and seeing how things continue to behave. Now, maybe you look at this set of circumstances and say, no, I don't find any of that interesting. And fair enough. Everybody's different. But if you are somebody that finds this sorts of circumstances at least worthwhile to keep an eye on, then PLUG certainly produces a very interesting opportunity because, you know, it's not too often that relatively popular stocks get absolutely destroyed like this one did today. So we'll see if there's some sort of dead cat bounce coming next week. Next one here, INBS. Talked about these yesterday, and you can see right here, price did break up above that red trend line right there. Not too explosive, but it did get through it. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that as it served its purpose for now. I'm actually going to adjust with a new level. And I think this level stands out just that much more. And I make that comment because when levels that a lot of people are watching are broken, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can definitely produce some very dynamic movements. And that level right there, I mean, that's a beautiful looking trend line. And you got to think a lot of people have drawn that trend line. So does that guarantee anything? Of course not. There are no guarantees, but does it make it plausible that if this thing can get back up to that line and then finally break above it, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? In my opinion, that is certainly a plausible thought process to go through. In terms of areas of support, nothing new here to talk about. I talked about 41 cents in yesterday's video, and that still holds true. But to me, the main and most interesting dynamic is all about that trend line right there, and can the price break up through it? So if you like these sets of, if you like these kind of ingredients, you like penny stocks, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, PLTR. Very, very impressive day today. I mean, look at that opening 30 minutes. Just came ripping and roaring out of the gates. A little breath right there for 30 minutes and then came back to life. And then from there has basically just been a nice slow grind in the upwards direction. So very, very impressive day today, and you got to think a lot of people are watching it. So I'm going to just go ahead and adjust this area of support up. And assuming you're bullish, whenever levels of support need to be adjusted in the upwards direction, that's always a good sign. But one of the newest areas of support is just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closes above, you want to see them act as support. So this area here was an area of resistance, but now that the price is above it, like I said, you want to see it act as support. And actually a classic example. So the breakout happened right there. Price pulled back. Check out that beautiful back test, and then up it went. So moving forward right there around $19.20 will be that main area of support. In terms of areas of resistance, nothing fancy here. Just a question of where did the party finally stop today, and that was right up there at 1975. So keep an eye on 1975 into next week. But all in all, very, very powerful day. Next one here, INVO. Started off the day with a gap up, then opening 30 minutes, nice strong candle, and then basically spent the rest of the day pulling back. So you can't deny that after that opening session, there was essentially this downwards channel that had formed. So this is where perspective comes into play, because yes, if you're some sort of day trader and you bought, right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 minutes, well then yes, from that standpoint, the chart looks really rough. But if you do care about the big picture point of view, then sure, you'll concede, well, yes, the price has formed this downwards channel. But what was happening before this downwards channel? And you would say, well, there's this huge move like that, which has now given me the ability to draw a bull flag pattern. So it's all about perspective. If you bought up there at that yellow arrow, then yeah, you really don't care about this bull flag pattern. But if you do care about things from the bigger picture point of view, then there you go. You still have a bullish pattern even with that pullback. Next one here, AMC. And unfortunately, that nice little move that started to get formed yesterday with these higher lows that I talked about, ultimately was just simply a dead cat bounce. And you can see opening 30 minutes, price came down there, broke through that area of support, It is now sitting down even lower. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that line as it served its purpose for now. And then just first update is just based on that rule that when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. Also going to just go ahead and get rid of that level up there. So in the very near term, if the price does try to curl back upwards, first key area of resistance right up there, we'll just call it $8.35. In terms of areas of support, nothing fancy here, just a question of where did the bleeding finally stop today, and that was right down there at 785. So 785 key level of support. And then just to give up more context here, you can see that it has been a long time since the price has been down around this area here. If the price were to drop below that 785 mark, actually more of a support zone, from 785 down to 770. So I'd keep an eye on that. But then if the price breaks below there, that would not be a good sign at all. But yeah, rough way to end the week, but we'll see if AMC can try to curl back upwards early next week. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering next week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for this free live class. Next one here, we have BLNK and a good solid technical pattern. So as I talked about with the previous one, whenever you have these sorts of situations where you have nice, defined trend lines that you can draw, then you got to think a lot of people are watching it. And again, so yes, you have this downtrend, or you have this downtrending trend line there, and you do have basically one that mimics it right there. So like I already talked about with the previous one, there is this downwards channel. Yes, there's no doubt about it. But assuming you do care about the bigger picture, well, what was happening before this downward channel? You had the big move up. And I know I'm going a little quicker through this one, but I've already said this, so I don't want to waste your time by repeating myself. So if you do like bull flag patterns, you like stocks down below the $5 mark, then BLNK, definitely one worth keeping an eye on next week. Next one here, AAPL Apple, and Apple just is grinding away, so certainly some updates need to be done. This is from an older period of time, so I'll just go to that. And really just first off, from a big picture standpoint, as far as supports are concerned, I think the easiest way to measure the support in Apple is just to use that 50-period moving average right there. You can see we have a recent example of how the price is really, respecting that level. And of course, there's not any guarantees that it will continue to respect it. But my point here is that, if you're just looking for more of a simplistic look, I mean, just check it out. Ever since it's gotten above that purple line, it's done a fantastic job of staying above it. And then when it did get tested, it held up very nicely. But for the fun stuff, where are these next areas of resistance? And I know things are getting harder to see here, but this is a good problem to have when you have to go back this far into the chart's history, because yeah, it's been a while since Apple's been up this high, but that is definitely a good sign. So it's looking like right up there about 188.50. Yep, 188.50 is going to be that next key battleground, which it still got some. I want to try to keep it. There we go. It's still got some distance to go, but really, as you saw there, it's kind of almost in a little miniature blue sky territory where there just is not any other data up around this area until you get up to that area at that point, and then you have another potential area of resistance. But at the end of the day, as long as Apple continue to chip away by putting in these higher lows, then that's by far what matters most. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. Very, very nice recovery today, especially when you consider, I mean, that was a nasty, nasty 30-minute session right there, just all the way down there. But after that, just boom, got to give credit where credit's due. Very impressive bounce. So first key update is just based on that rule. When levels of support, or excuse me, resistance are broken, you want to see them act as support. And definitely in this situation, 211 is important. And I'm not saying this will occur, but for explanation's sake, if the price were to come down to 211 and then break down through it, what would you have? Well, at that point, you'd quite literally have the price having gone right back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements with genuine power are not going to go back to where they were. They're going to show signs of progress. And in this situation, the quote-unquote sign of progress, in my opinion, is by staying up above 211. In terms of levels of resistance, all eyes right now on that purple line there, 50-period moving average. You can see the price got up close to it right there, but has never been able to quite push through it. But if the bulls can push up through there, then that would be another step in the right direction, that this bounce has genuine power behind it. Next one, NIO, and yeah, popular stock continues to get beat down. And so along those lines that I talked about earlier with PLNG, or not PLNG, what am I talking about? PLUG. And then I grabbed the wrong, there we go. So what I find interesting is that trend line right there. So, I mean, if you're looking to try to, get something off the bottom, relatively popular stock, people looking for any excuse at all to buy, then, that trend line right there could help you kind of gauge when some more strength has shown up. If you're someone that likes to just play bounces, then very straightforward here, because it just goes back to that question of where did the bleeding finally stop today? and that was down there at $7.15. So a couple of different, like I said, a couple different strategies, and for different traders, those that like to try to get confirmation could use that trend line. Those that like to try, play bounces, you could get some sort of move like that. But as always, no guarantee, so you got to manage that risk. But certainly an interesting situation here, especially since it's NIO, pretty popular stock, dare I say, maybe even a cult stock. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market is going to go up, this one will also go up. So because the NASDAQ market had a very, very nice day today, this one had a very, very nice day. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these lines down here as they serve their purpose for now. I'm actually going to get rid of that level too, which just shows how strong today was when I'm deleting all these lines out. But first key update, which you've heard me say, levels of resistance broken. You want to see act as support. So moving forward in terms of, what would make this chart look the absolute best, strongest, that would be if the price can stay above $40. Now, if the price does drop below 40, that doesn't mean the entire chart's ruined, because not that far away, you then have the purple line there, the 50-period moving average, keyword being moving. So as long as the price stays above that line, as the line itself moves higher, then, the bulls are in full control of the move. As far as areas of resistance, again, like Apple, oh, wow, I just noticed. So check it out. That was a big break right there. That was a resistance from several weeks ago. I guess I forgot about that. So yeah, that was, oh, wow, even over here, that's where that line's coming from. So yeah, that was actually a really, really important break today from a technical point of view. And now the next area of resistance, overarching one right up there around $41.90. I'm not sure. There we go. So like Apple, same general idea in terms of that blue sky breakout. So there's just kind of the miniature blue sky breakout right now. Really nothing until the price gets up around that area. So heading into next week, there's definitely still some room to run for the NASDAQ. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to go get signed up for that free live class. It'll be next week, Thursday, November 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, do a couple things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Those things really do help out, and they communicate to me that you're enjoying. So if you do enjoy these watch list videos, like I said, just communicate that to me by hitting that like button, leaving a comment. Just say hi. Give me a smiley face. Tell me what you traded today. Give me your watch list for next week, and I thank you in advance for doing that. So everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for watching, and go get signed up for that free class.